All right, greetings once again, fellow traders. This is Michael Storm, also known as Robin Hood. In today's video, I'd like to chat with you about how much money do you really need to trade the Forex market. Now, everybody will give you a different opinion. There's some people out there I've heard on YouTube that will recommend you need all the way up to $100,000 and much, much more, quoting that you're only going to make about 20% a year on average. Trading, 10 minutes a day. And I'm sorry, let me contain myself. So let's talk about reality here. But I have a lot of very good advice for you. It's not just about the money. There's some additional advice. So please stick around. Do not click off of this video. Okay, you are going to miss it. I'm going to cover many subjects here. It's not just money, but we're going to talk about other things as well. I'd hate to have you miss, the whole discussion. Okay. So 35 or 50 to 1, we're talking ESMA or American rules, they stink. I do not like this at all. I don't believe that's fair, okay? You have 197 nations in the world, and a few of them are actually not allowed to trade Forex. I think you have India, a couple of other places. I don't actually know every country that says, hell no, you can't play. But there are a few, I do know, there's a few countries that say no, and you can't even touch it. Then there's other countries like Britain and America that have incorporated really bad rules and have given us, I thought 50 to 1 was hellacious. And they come out with 35 to 1. Dear God, nothing like, teaching me I can't make any money. It's horrible. I don't think that's fair. Why is it that 197 nations, let's say that 7 of them can't trade at all? And then let's talk about, Britain and the USA. We'll say those are 2 that are going to be, horribly hindered. You're going to throw me into a cage, like a cage fight, with 190 killers. And they can all do 200 to 1, 400 to 1, 500 to 1, But you're going to tie both my hands behind my back. That doesn't make sense. That's not right. That's not fair. 190 nations out there, but 2 are going to get punished really bad. Well, Canada, 3. Sorry. Where is this right? Okay. I think that's wrong. All right. I think it's horrible. So, but anyway, let's say that was you, and you felt like you had to do your little patriotic duty and be bound to those rules. All right. You can only handle a maximum size, if you have $500 in there, of a quarter lot. And the smallest move against you is going to instantly whack you. It's instantaneous capital destruction. I mean, if you go a quarter lot, you're maxed out and you can't take any more. You're taking 1 trade, and if it moves 10 pips against you, you're going to get hurt. Okay? Anybody that tries this route must be insanely good. Or you have, well, not only insanely good, you have to be insanely nimble. You have to be very fast. In, out. You need to know when to use stops constantly, and you're going to get hit a lot. And you'll be scalping probably 8 or 10 hours a day. And you can only do 1 position at a time, nothing else. You can't even add to your bullet. There's no second bullet for you. It's 1 shot, 1 kill. So maybe you could stand a chance trying this. If you're going to lower your trade size all the way down to like 0.1 or perhaps 0.05 on a $500 account, you stand a little bit of a chance, but you still need to be amazingly good, okay? And you're not going to make a lot of money per day. All right? I still think this is very, very dangerous, and you'd have to be an incredible trader to make any money. I think there's a much better way. Let me share that way with you. My absolute minimum recommendation would be $3,000. $5,000 is a whole lot better. 10,000, even better. I mean, I wish that everybody would start with 10. That's my personal firm recommendation, 10 grand. But if you can't do 10, then try for 5. And if you just can't do 5, then cough up 3. And if you can't do 3, I'm sorry, you're not going to like it. I hate to say that you're trader light. You're playing with Forex, and you really shouldn't be in the market. Okay, I strongly recommend that you should not trade with anything less than that. It's just very bad advice. All right. So, but to plop down 50,000 or 100,000 to go mortgaging your house or selling off another property that you have, or go liquidating your, your 401k, your Kia, whatever, to just really be pumping massive quantities of money into the market, I don't believe that's needed. Right? It's my humble opinion. You don't need that. Unless you could do with a very solid broker, that has a really long-term track record of safety of clients' funds, segregated accounts, regulated broker. I would need that for that kind of cash. I'm not going to go with some no-name little broker incorporated off of, some island that nobody even knows where it is. All right, I don't feel like putting a 50 or 100,000 in with somebody like that. Now, let me just go back to this. Non-USA rules is the superior way to go. Who wants 35 to 1? Who wants FIFO and no hedging crammed down your throat? Not me. Now, this is my brand new little baby account. I just started this, 2 days ago. I do trade multiple accounts. And one account last year, I did not quite hit 100%, which is actually the worst trading that I've ever seen in 20 years. I did not hit 100% on one account, and I'm gonna be honest and admit that it's the worst trading I've ever done in 20 years of time. It's just completely catastrophic to me, but I'm trying not to jump off a bridge. But anyway, that's not important. Here's my new account. It's brand spanking new, right? I threw in $2,000, just $2,000. I'm pretty sure that I can do that. All right. I did $1,000 about 3 years ago. I turned $1,000 into, I don't know, it was like 2,200. And I think it took me 25 days, but it was just wasteful. It was very wasteful, very hard to do, a lot of work, a lot of scalping. And I just, $1,000 is just not going to cut it for me. I'm never going to do that again. So this time I did $2,000. And the reason I did this is just for my roomies. I've got a lot of people that trade with me, and I just wanted to be on their level. With one account, I just wanted to make sure I'm on somebody else's page. I don't know where everybody stands, but I'm anticipating a lot of my traders are at 3 to 5. Okay, 3 to 5,000. So I wanna get down there, with them. And experience it like that. So one of these accounts is going this route. Please notice over here where it shows the pie graph of how much that you have on. All right, so we're diversified. You can see that oil is giving me a total whack job right here. In oil, I have 5 microlots, and this is the thing that is holding my most drawdown. Okay, currently, I think it's like, I don't know, 4%. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to guess. Let's say it's 5%. Okay, let's say I'm getting whacked right now. 5% drawdown is on oil. I'm hammered. Okay, this thing is hammering me. All right, but other than oil, all right, I do have euro and AUD and pound and a couple of other things, and you can see, the various sizes. I don't have too much in here. Okay, my balance is $2,000, a little bit over. They gave me a credit. Now that credit, I didn't want that, but I unfortunately couldn't stop them. And it was Bitcoin transfer. I bought Bitcoin, I put it in, and it was a 15% bonus on Bitcoin. So I have to mentally discount this credit, and I have to mentally, discount this equity. And you look at the margin level, okay, and you look at, what's free, okay. I basically have about 10% approximately 10% of the available margin is in use, and about 90% left. All right. So here's my trade score. Some of you guys might have seen this before on Twitter. For many, many years, it's been, well, we didn't have this trade score for 10 years, but I have been revealing my trade score on Twitter for 10 years, and I got blasted to high hell for it, and finally gave up doing this, many months ago. I don't even bother to show it anymore. But anyway, if you're interested in this, this is an indicator. It's pretty cool. I really like it a lot. It shows you your open trades, okay, and your score for the day, your score for yesterday, and it runs back a couple of days, and then it will show you, your score for the week, your score for the month, and your score for the year. And, there's a little line right here. You're supposed to grab it and drag it down, and it will even show you your all-time score. This account sat dormant for like, I don't know, 3.5 years, and I just funded it. Anyway, you can see all of the sizes. Now, if you count the pairs right here, I've got 12 pairs open. I recommend that people don't go beyond 10. It's probably a good idea not to trade beyond 10 pairs. And you can see my bullet size, right? So I've got 1 bullet of odd Japan. I've got 4 bullets fired right now on odd New Zealand. I've got 5 bullets long on Australia dollar. And this gives me, you know, the count of how many bullets have been shot, okay, both on the long side, which is green, and on the short side, which is red. You can see I've got US dollar NOK. I've fired 3 bullets off. That's my average price. There's my drawdown. Okay, I'm down 10 bucks, right? So all of these are pretty much manageable, you know, being down a couple of dollars to $10 or, you know, even 12. I don't find a real big deal here. The only one that's hurting me, like I said, is oil. I'm down 65 bucks. That's not too pretty. It's not fun. And but anyway, I just want you to see this, all right? And this is what I'm recommending that a trader with a couple of grand, you know, say $3,000 or $5,000 would do in their account. You don't want to go beyond 10 bullets, and you know, you don't want to go beyond 10 pairs, I'm sorry, and you don't want to go beyond 10 bullets on any given pair, okay? And you can also see that on the very first day, I made, I think this was Thursday, I made 1.85% profit. That's what I was able to book into the account. It was 1.85. On Friday, we had a pretty bad day. It was only 0.59%. I didn't even hit 1% because Friday just sucked. The day, you know, it barely moved, and I think I quit at 11 or 12 noon. I just walked away. I walked away from the market. Okay, so let's go on. Here we have a picture of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Remember the gun vault, right? He walks into the gun vault. Or if you don't like, if The Matrix is beyond, it's funny. The Matrix is beyond your time because it's 20 years old and you're only 20 years old, then maybe you might remember John Wick. Okay, that's a little newer. He walks into the gun vault, right? He slaps down a coin, a gold coin, and says, I need guns. I need a lot of guns, right? Well, how many guns are you going to buy? All right, my recommendation with your little Matrix jacket on is that you are not going to go beyond 10 guns, okay? And each gun only has 10 rounds in your magazine, okay? And that's it. You're not going to shoot more than that. Now, every trader's goal is to shoot 1 bullet. 1 shot, 1 kill. That trade you just took, boom, it flies straight up or straight down, giving you 15 pips or 20 pips or 25. And you see it stall, and your goal is to cash out, right? You want to shoot a bullet, make 15 pips. Shoot a bullet, make 20. Shoot another bullet, make 25, you know? You're going to shoot 1 bullet, and you're only going to make 6.7. That is the ultimate goal, is that 100% of your trades, 100% of the time, would always move in your direction and you wouldn't have any drawdown. But that's not reality, okay? So, every bullet that you fire off, it has to be reclaimed. Look at this as a game, okay? You are not allowed to run out of bullets. That is the rule of the game, okay? The next rule is that every bullet that you fire off, it has to come back to you. It must be reclaimed. You are either going to make a kill, you're going to make a pip gain, or, you know, to increase your trading portfolio's capital, your trading score has to go up. You want the green to get greener every single day. And the red, which is what we're going to call Forex reserves, those are your trades, your 10% or 20 or even 30. 30% of your trades might go bad on you, right? For a brief period of time. Now, how bad are they going to go is the big issue, okay? Let's talk for a minute here. Let's camp here and talk about how wrong you are. On the scale of being wrong, how bad is it? There's a scale, 1 to 10. 1 is, well, maybe I'm wrong for a few minutes. Maybe I'm wrong for half an hour. You know, a 2 might be I'm wrong for an hour and I had to fire bullet number 2 at my trade. And then it was, you know, it's fine. It fell down against me, right? The trade went against me by whatever, 15, 20 pips, and I fired another bullet to go long, or, if you're shorting, you're firing a bullet to go short, and you're just temporarily wrong. The trade quickly moves in your direction. You're out bullet 1, you're out bullet 2, you made money, it's not a big deal. On a scale of 1 to 10, you were only wrong maybe a 1 or a 2. Now, there's times we can be wrong at level 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it can get worse, all right? There's times you can be wrong for hours, and you might have to take a bullet number 3 or a 4. I'm not talking martingale, so please throw that out. That's not what I mean. I don't have time to explain that right now, but you're trying to scale into a trade in a certain way. You might have to take 3 or 4 bullets, and then you find out, oh, everything's just fine. It's crashing now. It's going 50 pips in my direction. Boom, boom, boom. I'm out. And you're making money. Trade 1, maybe you only made 5 lousy pips. Trade 2, maybe you made, 15 or 20 pips. But trade 3 and 4, they might be like 40, 50, 60 pips or something. You're going to be a happy camper. But let's talk about mega wrong just for a minute. Okay, every once in a while, you're going to get one trade that is going to kick your tail, all right? We'll call that scale 10 on the game score indicator. If you have a trade go massively against you, all right, you've only got 2 choices. Being wrong is not the end of the game. You can be wrong in degrees, but sometimes one trade is just going to whack you. And if you're mega wrong, just once in a while, you're still going to live if you've sliced your bullets up properly. But you do need to have a plan in place. What to do, how to handle it. If a stop out is needed, I can just say to you, then by all means, take your stop out. Go ahead, do it, get it over with. All right? Now let's talk about how much money is required to double an account, okay? How long is this going to take? How much money can we make as Forex traders? I occasionally get people write me on emails and will say, hey, how much money can I expect? I mean, I literally had a guy last week sent me an email and was asking, how much money can he expect? And he wanted 100 to 200,000 a year. So I answered his email, and I think I did a pretty good job answering it. I even posted that answer on Twitter. So if you haven't seen that answer, you can follow me at Twitter, on Twitter at Forex Assassins, and just go to my media and scroll back like a week or 2, and you will actually find that email and my answer where I talked him through how he's going to make $200,000 a year. It's pretty fun to take a look at that. You might like that email and my answer. Okay. How much money is required to double an account? How much? And how much are we going to make? Right? Big question. First of all, it's all relative to the size of your account. And there's other factors at play. How much focus do you have? How much discipline can you muster? And how much patience do you have to be able to hold on to a trade? Not only the winners, but the losers too. Okay? Can you hold on to your winners and let them run for a really good length of time, or to the location that you truly believe that price is going to get to? Or are you kind of quick to exit? Like when you see that you have money, do you just want to take it really quickly? You're cutting your winners short. Will definitely affect how much money you're going to make and how long it's going to take you to double your account. So let me give some examples. If you can pull 167 pips on full-sized bullets, okay, 100% account growth in 3 months, that is 1.67% a day. It's really not as hard as you might think. I have done that in my, well, I haven't done that in 2019. I started off doing that. Let me put it that way. I started off for the first few months. I was absolutely rocking it, man. But things did not go so good by the time I hit April and May. Pound dollar. Pound dollar whacked me silly. Okay. So I fell into some difficulties, and I'm telling you right now, I did not end my year. It was under 100% account growth. All right. That's all I'm going to say. It was over 50. It was under 100. 1.67% a day is not that hard. I have done that many, many, many times. The times that I really, really rocked it like that was the crisis back in 2012, 2013, 2014. Things were just incredible. The Forex market moved amazingly. There was such huge and violent moves. It just wasn't hard. I mean, we had times where we got 800 pips in a day. We had times where we got 1,000 pips in a day. It did happen, and it was a lot more common. Now, for me to get 1,000 pips in a day is so rare. Gosh, once a month, once every 2 months now. It's just not that common anymore. Okay, but 1.67% a day is something that can be achieved if you are shooting the proper bullet size. Now, when you're shooting lower than the proper bullet size, you're going to be hindered. Please do not leave the video. Hear me out. I got so much to talk about. This advice is gold. You're going to want to get this, okay? 1.2% a day is 120 pips of value, and that's 4 months. You're going to double. If all you can manage is 100 pips a day, that's 1%, okay? And your account double takes 5 months. You can get 2 in a whole year. A little bit more than 2 in a year. All right, let's move on. It's not exactly about the money. It is about the pips. Far too many traders are focusing on the money rather than the pip count. Why should anybody start with $100,000 in an account and try and shoot for a lousy 20% in a year? You'll see this all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. Everywhere. Everybody says it. All the greatest hedge funds in the world, all they make is 20% a year. That's what they're going to say to you, right? And you expect to be better than the greatest hedge funds on all the world? You liar. They accuse you of being a liar and a scammer. And, listen, when I showed my trade score on Twitter for 10 years, I got the same thing. People bashed the living tar out of me. It was relentless, the amount of abuse that I took, But anyway, they're saying that that's supposedly phenomenal returns in a year. I've got a question for you. Who is selling you this line of horse dung, okay? Think about it. A real trader who is seated and watching and focused really big time on the natural flow of the market, and you can't pull 100 pips in a day? What the heck are you smoking? Give me a break. There are pairs, one pair, pound Australia, pound New Zealand. That thing can move 100 pips up and down in a day without even hardly thinking about it. Okay, Euro odd can move 90 to 120 pips a day. Come on, give me a break. You're going to trade 36 pairs on 6 monitors, and you're going to be scalping and intraday trading and maybe a little bit of swing trading, right? You're going to do all of this, right? And you're slicing your trades up into, maybe 5 or 10 different things that you see per day. And you're telling me you can't even make 100 pips in one day? I don't believe it, okay? But if you believe it, you're right. Whether you believe it or whether you don't, you're right. Your belief systems can horribly hold you back, all right? Perhaps 35 or 50 to 1, 0 time to trade, that's going to hold you back. Going all in on one trade a day, right? No diversification, but you've got to stop, and you have a target, and you're going to get stopped out 40% of the time, and you're only going to make money 60% of your trades. Well, I guess 20% a year is going to be good, and the market makers love you. You're the best. They're just bowing down and worshiping, their God, which is money. By the way, they're bowing down and worshiping the God of money every day because you think this way. This right here, and I've probably showed this, I think, once before. This is my office that I finally built about 2 years ago, and there's my setup. Okay, see this? 6 of these monitors right here. This over here I allocate to Skype and the trade room, and news is up here, all kinds of stuff like that. But I've got 6 of these dedicated to 36 charts. All right, and when I bought these, they were $400 a piece, man. It hurt. But now you're so lucky. You live in 2020. It takes nothing to buy this now. My God. For a lousy $800, you can have this. All right? You know, please don't complain. All right. For $800, you can have this right here. Or for $500, you can go out and buy a TV, a massive one, a 4K TV, and run all your charts on it. So stop complaining. You need real estate. You need screen space, and that's all there is to it. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go see my last video on about you know, real traders. Can you trade off of a cell phone? All right. So screen space, being able to see the charts, is one big slice of the Forex trading market puzzle. Without it, you are not doing well. Now, why folks do not take the advice of a master trader? I have been trained by some of the best traders in the world. I have got 20 years of experience. And why you don't want to take my advice, man, I'm just never going to know. I don't know. You want the same results that you've been making? Keep things the same way that you've been doing it for the last 1 or 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know how long you've been at it. You want to believe some professional Forex trading guru on YouTube that's going to tell you that you need $100,000 or a lot more? Help yourself. You know, you want to believe that you can make millions with just $100 or $500 in your account? Help yourself. Okay, I am not telling you that you need 100,000, but I'm sure as heck not telling you that you're going to make it with $100. You play with 100 or 500 or 1,000, you are just, you're playing with fire, you're being a baby, and you are just a Forex player. You play Forex. You are not a trader. And I'm sorry if that skins you, if that's like me pouring vinegar or pouring salt on your wounds. I don't mean to cut you. But sometimes, you know, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to cut somebody a little bit so that they'll run and get some healing, okay? And if the shoe fits, wear it. $500 or $100 in your account, you're not going to make it, right? I'm telling you, you need 3,000 bare minimum, and you would be a whole lot better with 5. Believe me, I know what I'm saying. So now I'm telling you that you also need a lot of time. Practice. Practice makes perfect. And if you want to thrive, you must first survive. And that survival is only going to come through many things thrown into your trading arsenal. Number 1, you need to focus. If you cannot focus your attention, you are going to be greatly hindered. How long can you stand watching charts? Can you handle it for 6 hours a day? Or, you know, is 4 hours a day your limit? Or can you watch charts 10 hours a day? Where's your focus? Where's your patience at? See, everybody wants to make money, but this is the kind of, I'm going to go ahead and swear, this is the kind of bullshit that sells on frickin' Twitter, what do you call it? FinTwit and YouTube, all these little scammer 20-something gurus come on there and say, I made $30,000. I made $30,000 this week in my spare time. Or, you know, they'll say, I made $5,000 in 4 minutes. And they are a bunch of lying sack of horse manure. Listen, guys, that is the stuff that sells. And it's really damn sad if you think about it. How many people are like sheep going to the slaughter listening to this kind of stuff? Okay? You're not going to turn $100 or $500 into $30,000 in 1 week. I assure you. If you do that, you're a trading god. Okay? Or you just got lucky. If you turn $500 into $30,000 in 1 week, you got damn lucky. And the market maker's going to blow your account out next week. Because if you can turn $30,000 next week into $5 million, you will be kidnapped and held at gunpoint. And the bankers are going to chain your ass to a desk, and they're going to say, get trading. And they're going to hold a gun to your head, and they're going to feed you. And that's all you're going to get, man. I'm telling you, you'll be kidnapped. I swear to God. Do it. Go ahead. Show me that you can pull 500 to 30 grand, and you can turn 30 grand into 5 million. You're getting kidnapped faster than you can shake a stick at, okay? You need focus. You need patience, and you need discipline, and you need a crap load of time. If you don't have these 4 things, you are dead in the water. Oodles and oodles of screen time. The more hours that you can watch and the more that you can understand what's going on, the more you're going to make. Because the more trades you're going to see, and the more scalps and the more intraday trades that you're going to take for reasonable pip moves. Okay? This right here is it. I'm telling you, you need this more than you can even imagine. Don't click off the video. We ain't done yet. How can a trader not make 100 pips a day or more? Let's face it, all the currencies wiggle and jiggle. They move up and down all day long. Sometimes the runs are so tiny. They're just 3 pips up and 7 pips down. And 4 pips up and 5 pips down. And it almost looks like nonsense on the 1-minute charts. It's looking random, right? The 1-minute charts, 5-minute charts, you see it sideways for 3 hours. I mean, what the hell? The thing's got a 20 pip range for 3 hours. Wait, you know, it's disgusting, right? Okay. Sometimes you see decent moves up and down on a 5-minute chart. They might go for, 5 or 6 bars, or maybe all the way up to 10 bars or 12 bars in a row. You know, you'll see a drop or you'll see a pop, depending on the pair. I mean, that could be 15 pips on the euro, or the US Japan, something like that. It might be 20. Or you might see 50 pips on something like pound Canada or pound Japan. You might see a 70 pip move on euro yen. And it's probably the only move you're going to get all day if you see that. But you know this. You see it all the time. If you're a trader and you're actually watching charts, you know this thing. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. So with trading small and diversification of your trades, how is it that a trader cannot manage to pull 100 to 200 pips in a day? Why do you wish to believe someone that's telling you that 20 to 50 pips a day is a miracle? I see 20 to 50 pips all the time. It's constantly. And I can't make 20 to 50 pips in a day? Give me a break. Go kid your mother, for the love of God. All right, so let's get started. Let's do some math, all right? $3,000. That's your starting capital. Play with me here. Humor me, all right? $3,000 of starting capital. Your initial trade size, because you're a brand new newbie, you're just a total green shoot newbie. You don't even know what you're doing. Okay, if you don't know what you're doing, you better get on demo for a couple of months. But after you've learned how to trade a little bit on demo, start with $3,000, and let's start at 1/3 bullet size. Okay, just 0.01, a micro lot. You are not going to exceed 10 bullets, and you're not going to exceed 10 pairs. All right, this is the way to go. Now, the trader focuses on learning how to make 67 cents over here, 85 cents over there, 55 cents there, 4.3, 43 cents over. You get my point, right? $1.11, $1.12 over here. This is scalping. It's 6.7 pips. It's 8.5 pips, 4.7 pips, 11.2, right? $1.12 is what? It's 11.2, basically. Basically, all right? On Euro, on Australia, it's all going to be 10. On Pound Odd or, Euro New Zealand or something, it's not going to be 10. It's going to be like 8, 8 pip. You understand what I'm saying, I hope. I don't have time to go into all that right now and tell you what is a pip. But let's just standardize a pip to 10, okay? If you can learn to do this 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times a day, all day long, weeks and months on end, your account growth is going to be very, very slow at first. You're not going to be at 1% a day because you're trading at 1/3 of your size, right? 1/3 of your standard bullet size. Who cares? It's not a race. You don't have anything to prove to anyone, all right? It's about learning. It's about growing. You got anything to prove to anybody? It's proving it to yourself. You don't need to prove it to me. I already know, right? Now, as the weeks roll by, at some point, you're going to feel confident. You're going to move up to 0.02 in a bullet size. Wonderful. Now, instead of making just $10 a day, right? I mean, that's what you've been doing. You've been trading for a month or two, and you're making $10 a day. Whoopee! Oh my God, you're rich now. $50 a week. Man, you're rolling in the dough. Or, maybe you're good enough that you're making $100 a week, right? Well, now you're going to move your trade size up to 0.02. And now you can make $20 a day or $40 a day. Excuse me, I have to yawn. Oh my God, it's so exciting. It's just keeping me awake, you know. All right. Mondays and Fridays, they're going to be slow. You might not hit your target, okay? You saw what I showed you earlier. I showed you my trade score earlier in this video, and I hope you're not skipping along because you're missing the gravy, man. One day, I made 1.8 something %, and the next day I made 0.5. You see? Some days I'm going to make 3 or 4%, and some days I'll make nothing. How many weeks? How many months is it going to take you till you get to the full size? Does everybody learn at the same pace? Some folks, it might just take a month or two, and others, it might take 6 months before enough comfort has been reached. Enough comfort is gained to trade at the full size. Again, I say to you, is this some kind of a race? It's not. So what if it is 4 months for you to get to full size bullet? All right. If your account was to grow from 4 grand in 2 months, okay, that's just 25%. Okay, we're just talking 12% a month, right? And you moved up to 0.02. You're still half size, right? But it is an improvement, isn't it? Over being 1/3 of the size. You've now moved up to half size instead of 1/3. So let's say 6 weeks goes by and you get to 0.03. And 4 more weeks after this, you get up to 0.04. See, eventually your account's going to be at 6 grand and your account size is going to be up at 0.06. And that is your full bullet size. But it's up to you. See, you have to choose what's comfortable for you. You don't let somebody else dictate what you're going to do. I'm just giving you an example, all right? Okay, we all have to start somewhere. So let's say it took you 6 months to reach that $6,000, right? You started small, you traded really tiny, but in 6 months you took that little $3,000 account and you doubled it to 6. You may not realize what you've done. If you can do it once, I'm telling you, you can do it again. With caution, with care, you can do it a second time. I had somebody write me on YouTube the other day, and I had to write him back and say, "You're a trading god. I've never met one before." The guy said he could no, what did he say? He said he could pull 40 to 50% in 3 days. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're going to far surpass my couple million, and you're going to do it a whole lot faster than me. This guy is going to go, literally, I don't know where he stands now, but I mean, quite honestly, he should be at somewhere between 5 and 10 million bucks within a year. If he can always do 50% every 3 days. Look, I'm not going to believe some liar like that. Okay, everybody might be able to take, a $100 account and turn it into 150, all right, in 3 days. But are you gonna do the same thing with $1 million account? Are you gonna risk turning $1 million into $1.5 million in 3 days, trading full size? Oh, you're nuts! You're absolutely smoking insanity if you do that. All right. Bear with me. I'm really getting to the good stuff. If you can just hold on, you're going to get there. Where are you going to be if you can go from 6,000 to 12,000 in another 6 months? You're going to be trading at 0.1? You're going to be trading at 0.12? If this takes you a year to double an account 2 times, is this the end of the world? Is it time for you to jump off a bridge and kill yourself because you worked all year long and you only made a lousy $9,000? And you're working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. Okay, let's call it 10 hours a day. 50 hours a week, and you made 9 grand in a year. Time to commit suicide? Let's look at it another way. You just did the hardest thing on planet Earth. Doubling an account for the very first time is the hardest thing that any trader has to go through. But once you hit that second double, I'm telling you, it gets a lot easier from that point. It really does. How many years are we talking to reach millionaire status? 3,000 to 6,000 is 6 months. Okay, let's say you couldn't even hit that 1% a day because you were due to, you know, very small trade size. It held you back, right? That small trade size held you back. 6,000 to 12,000. Okay, now you're at 12 months, right? You got 6 months on the first one, 6 months on the next one. There's a year. 12,000 to 24,000. Can you do your next double in 5 months instead of 6? Do you think maybe? You getting a little faster? Are you? Are you getting a little bit better? Things starting to make more sense now, right? Are you starting to hit 1% a day? Every day, consistently, 1%? Let's go with this for a while, all right? It's been a year of trading. Humor me, and let's say that you have moved up to 1%, and you're able to do this in 5 months. All right? Where does 24,000 to 48,000 come in? A year and 9 months later. Let's say that you've all of a sudden, after you know, a year and 5 months, you're now starting to reach into that 1.2% a day. You finally see the light. There it is. You've been working a year and a half. You're hitting 1.2% a day. Do you realize that 1.2% a day at full bullet size, do the math, I'm not lying, your account doubles in 4 months. Well, now, are we starting to get to the point where you're having trouble? Are you starting to like not have any more faith all of a sudden? You're like, wait a minute. Can I really double 24K to 48K in 4 months? Yes. Yes, you can. If you're focused, if you're good, if you're patient, if you're disciplined, and if you manage to pull 1.2% every single day, 120 pips a day, all right, you will get there. You will double that account in 4 months. The math does not lie. Go out there and check my math and find out if I'm wrong. Okay, so where are you now? You got 4 doubles under your belt, and it hasn't even been 2 years. All right, if you don't believe this, then choose the math that works for you. Choose what you can believe in. Be open to change. All right, change your opinion, change your mind later. If you can't believe it now, then maybe later on you'll come to grips with this whole thing. So if you don't believe that you can double an account every 3 or 4 or 5 months, do you believe it's possible to do it in 6 then? Can you do it in 6? Is it possible to double an account? I'm talking 100% in 6 months. Can you do it? Do you think you can manage to accomplish 4 account doubles in 2 years of time? How many more do you have to do before you hit the $1 million marker? Double 5, you're almost at 100K. Double 6, you're almost at 200K. Double 7, you're shy of 400, okay? Double number 10, it's $3 million by the time you double 10 times. Double number 9, you're at $1.5 million bucks. And double number 8, you are still shy of 1 million. But this is the math. Sit down with a calculator and check it out. Tell me if it isn't true. The hardest double is the first one. I am asking you to take 3 grand and turn it into 6, irregardless of how long it takes you. If it takes you a freaking year, then so be it. Don't be a little wussy baby and cry and complain. Get your first double under your belt, and then you're going to start to see some light. By the time you take 6,000 and you pull it up, and you get all the way up to 12, you're going to have double number 2, and you're going to believe what I'm saying is reality. All right, let's move along. Now, 3,000 bucks to $1 million in 27 months. Is this really possible? If you can start with 3,000 and you can learn to cool your jets, that's what my mother always told me. Quench your desire to be some degenerate gambler, right? Making 50% in 3 days, you degenerate gambler. But if you can, quench that desire to be the degenerate gambler, right? And if you can quit about this, get rich quick scenario, right? Forget that crap. Just relax. If you can double every 3 months without fail and without any kind of a hiccup, yes, you are a millionaire. and it only takes 9 months. We're talking 27 months, 9 doubles. It takes 9 doubles, 27 months. You're just over 2 years. But if you are unable to pull this 1.67% a day, if you can't pull that much, and you can only manage to get 1.2% a day on average, guys, please, I'm talking on average here. Okay, Mondays are going to suck sometimes. Fridays are going to. Okay, every once in a while you're going to get a great day. You're going to pull 5% in one day. You understand, right? All right, 3 years to hit 1 million. Is it really possible? At 1.2% a day on average, the math says you need 36 months to double your account 9 times. 45 months will need to go by at 1% a day. That's just 100 pips a day to get to 1 million in 4 years. Can you do it in 4 years? Okay, you don't believe you can do it in 27 months? You don't think you can do it in 3 years? That's fine. Throw it out the window then. If that's what if you cannot believe it, then chuck it. How about 1%? All right, can you do that? Where can you believe? At what level do you become a believer in yourself? You are only limited by your faith in your own abilities, and you're only limited by your lack of screen time. A job is really going to hold you back. You're only limited by your focus and your patience and your discipline. You're only limited by your lack of understanding of trading psychology. This is a big one. And your ability to master it and overcome you, because you are your own worst enemy by far. I'm telling you, it's the God's honest truth. If you can't master trading psychology, you're dead in the water, because trading psychology is literally 80% of the game. The other 20% is just understanding how the Forex market works. It's just understanding buy and sell signals, and when to take a trade, when to go long, when to go short, how long am I going to let this thing run for, where's my reasonable target. That's the easy peasy stuff. I know most people are like, oh no, that's the hard stuff. I need to know how to do that. Yeah, you need that, but you also need the trading psychology. That's the harder, the much more difficult part to master. Okay, I told you this was going to be an interesting video. I'm not just telling you how to turn 3K into $1 million in 2, 3, 4 years. Okay, we're adding a little more to this. All right. You may say to me, but I have to live. I need the money. Okay, let's talk about withdrawals. Let's throw some of that into the mix. At some point, you need some cash, right? I mean, you can't just sit there and work a year and make $9,000 and get nothing out of it. I mean, you need some money to live. You got to pay the groceries. You got to pay the cable bill, the light bill. I get it. I totally understand that. So what if you did this? Number 1, right? You're a waiter or a waitress or something, right? You work your ass off. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Those are the 3 best nights. You know that, right? And then you tell your boss, okay, look, I need Friday. I need Saturday. I need Sunday. You've got to give it to me. Please. You beg them. Get on your knees if you have to. And tell them, in exchange for, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll give you Monday. I'll go ahead and I'll work the crappiest day of the week if you give me the 3 best days, right? Listen, come on, guys. Be real. Waitresses and waiters, they can actually make some pretty good money. Waiting tables, I mean, in the right place, you can pull $200 a night. One of my nieces is actually a waitress, and she makes like $50K a year. And she went out and bought a nice couple of $100,000 house being a waitress. And she's only like 20, I don't know, 26. I'm not really sure. I'll have to ask my wife. She's 26, I think. And she's already got a $200,000 house. Okay, come on. How about that? You work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then you work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday until 12 noon in the market, right? But like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you give it all day, okay? I mean, you give it 10 hours a day, right? But Friday, you go ahead and quit at noon because you got to work Friday night, bussing tables or whatever. Can you do this? How's that? Your part-time waiter or waitress and a part-time trader. Or let's pick something else. You're a plumber. You make $125 an hour. Electrician, you know, a roofer, a carpenter, some other skilled or semi-skilled area. I mean, my God, somebody who paints houses can make $50 an hour these days. Give me a break. Okay, you know that you're worth $50 to $125 an hour for every hour that you book out in your business, if it's your own business, right? So what if you hone it down? I mean, listen, I just met a mechanic. He's a mechanic, and he's a mobile mechanic. He comes to your house and works, fixes your car. And he's probably averaging, I'm going to guess, about $75 an hour, you know. That's my best guess. No overhead, no shop, $75 an hour. You know, he's doing pretty good, right? What if you could do that? What if you could do this right here? Okay, I'm back. I had to take a break for a moment. So what I'm trying to say here is, how about if you just honed it down to just working from 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 or 6 p.m. every day, nothing more, in some kind of business that you can make enough money part-time to go ahead and pay for your part-time trading that you're doing. You can get up very early in the morning, 7 a.m., work till 12 noon, just shut down, right? Now you're part-time trader, part-time tradesman, make a few thousand a week, you can pay the bills, and how much are you going to make a week trading? Not as much, I know, but can you do that for 5 years? Yes? No? Only you're the one who can answer this, right? So just pick something. When there's a will, there is a way. And I believe that you can make it happen. How about your wife? How about your husband? If they have a good job and they make decent money, can you convince your partner to pull all the strings for you for 4 or 5 years, with the possible outcome that at that time, when the time's up, right, you're going to be so well off that you can repay the favor, because you're at $1 million. They can quit their job because you're now over the 1 million mark. I mean, there has to be a way to work it out. There has to be. When there's a will, there's a way. Is there any way that you can downsize for a while in your life? Do you really need all that you think that you need, right? Pardon me. You see people all the time on YouTube, the tiny house lifestyle, right? They sold off everything, they downsized so that they got more free time. These people, they're pretty smart, actually. I don't fault them for the movement. They want time to live, They don't want to just be constantly working 70 hours a week at some corporate job to pay for a big monster house that they're never in. Is there any way that you can downsize your life and make this thing happen? If you really want to be a trader, you'll find a way to make it happen. Now, some of you might be saying, screw this. I don't have time for this stuff. And I would say to you, well, I didn't have time to get rich either. I mean, it only cost me blood and sweat and tears, right? It only cost me 20 years of my life. And, I mean, my God, it only cost me 18 hours a day. So some of the times I was trading 18 hours a day. When I was busy running a hedge fund, man, I was putting in 12 to 18 hours a day all the time. It was killing me, And thank God that's over. I can't even tell you. That's a whole nother nightmare story, but I'm so glad that's over. And during all this, blood, sweat, and tears, I had to pay the bills, right? I had to withdraw. I had to suffer, all right? So you telling me that you can't endure some short-term suffering for a lifetime of wealth? Is that really the path that you want to take? You only have time for the job, just over broke? I mean, goodness. Let's slow it down a little bit more, right? Let's say you have to live a little bit. How can we drag this out? How can we make it take us longer, 5 or 6 or 7 years to hit that $1 million mark, right? It's easy. Just withdraw the money. when your account's at 25 grand and you work all month long and you force out 20% gains, you got $2,500 extra sitting in your account, right? You're at 27.5. Why not yank out $1,000? And then you'll have some spending money, and you can leave the other $1,500 in for account growth. When your account is at 50,000 and you worked your tail off all month and you made 10,000, why not yank out 5? Right? Get paid as you go. At some point, it becomes very wise to be pulling out 50% of your profits every month, because your broker, you want to make sure that you're getting paid. I mean, you don't want your broker to fly by night. So, yeah, another thing is, at some point you're going to need to split this money up, Okay, you're going to have to get 2 accounts, right? You can't keep all your eggs in one basket, right? One account, you're going to put half the money in one broker, half in another. You can use one account for swing trading, right? You can use another account for scalping and intraday trading. I mean, just as we diversify our trades so that no one trade will break us or destroy us, you don't want any one broker going down that fly-by-night path and pulling a Pellucid on you. And if you don't remember, Pellucid is one of the companies, built by traders, for traders. And poof, they vanished with all our money years ago. I mean, a lot of people got hurt with that, me included, man. They just took all my money and ran, and they're sitting on a beach somewhere sipping Mai Tais. So, playing Forex, let's talk about that. Playing Forex versus being a real trader. There's 2 ways to be a player. Number 1, you can trade the daily charts and trade 10 minutes a day, which I just laugh at you. And number 2, you can trade with anything under $1,000. And I think you're nuts. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing, but I still think you're crazy. You cannot make money trading under 1,000. I did it one time. It was about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I think. And I started with $1 grand. And just for fun, at that time I had 44 roomies. We did 122% in 1 month and a few extra days. There was like 3 more days. And then I blew it all up, being oversized on the pound. I had way more than, let's see, it was 2,200. I can tell you I had far greater than 20 micro lots, and it was all spread on pound pairs. It was pound dollar, it was euro pound, there was many pound crosses. Okay, really. All right. Anyway, it was nice to make 122% in 1 month, but I also blew it all in one evening. So if I had toned it down a little bit, actually, that count would have survived. But I'm just saying, trying to play with $1,000 is very hard, and going oversized will also tend to kill you. So those are 2 mistakes that you don't want to make. So why can't you trust me? Because I've got 20 years under my belt trading. And I'm telling you that if you trade under $1,000, it's really, really going to be difficult for you because you can't wash a micro lot in half. That is the issue. See, if you start with 3 or 5K instead of just $1,000, right? You're way better off. See, 20 or even maybe 30% of your trades are going to go into the toilet. And if you don't stop out, then you've got to learn how to wash the trades. And washing is not for everyone, right? It's time consuming. It takes practice. It's a little bit complicated, and it definitely takes practice. But it takes a lot more patience than most folks really feel like putting into it. So, to sum this up, that if you have 1 bullet negative on you by 30 pips, and you find another signal, and you add in, and it moves in your direction by 15, all right? You can take $30 of profit on trade 2, and you can reach into trade number 1, and you can wash away a micro lot for $1.50 of loss, or you could wash away 2 micro lots for $3 of loss, and you're still going to be ahead by $27. And now you only have 0.08 left to deal with and to manage. And that's just if you're washing and you've only fired 1 bullet. And you got nervous and started washing on your second bullet, I mean, there is a way to do it, but you can't do it with a micro lot. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, just see my video. I have a video out there on washing and hedging and damage control. Just go watch that video. So let's talk about the Martingale Nightmare on Elm Street, right? If you have 0.01, it's going against you. You take trade number 2, you now got 0.02. And you're wrong, and you eventually, just keep on adding, right? It just keeps going, and every time you think it's going to bounce, or every time, you think it's going to tank, if you're shorting it, you think it's going to fall, and you're running out of bullets, you get to 5 of them, right? How are you even going to wash 1 micro lot? Now, maybe trade 6 will be the winner, right? And you take $1.50. You have 1 micro lot, and it bounces or moves downward 15 pips and gives you $1.50. But trade number 5, it might still be negative like 35 cents. You see? So you can take $1.50 and you can wash away 35 cents of loss, and you can kill that trade 6 and trade 5, and it leaves you at 4. Okay, now you got 4 bullets floating in the toilet, right? But washing out of these last 4 bullets, it still takes a lot of time and a lot of skill. That a trader who can deal in 0.03s or 0.05s or 0.10s will have a lot more success in washing off a micro lot at a time than some trader who's just trading a $1,000 account. I hope this makes sense. Okay, why is it that you need to be very difficult upon yourself? It just, trading at $1,000 is making your life a living hell. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch my video, all right, on damage control, hedging, and washing. It'll really enlighten you. So I believe that 3,000, 5,000, or 10,000 as a starting point is the very best way to go. All right, I think that you stand the best chance of success going this route. Choosing non-USA rules. Okay, you don't want to be stuck in FIFO. Just say no to FIFO, okay? Vote with your feet. There's a lot of other ways to get out of it these days, man. There's a lot of ways. Sit down, write up a trade plan that you can live with. How many pairs are you going to trade at once? How many bullets are you going to be willing to fire? And what is the signal that's going to get you in or out or cause you to double or triple? Okay, what is your signal, right? How are you going to manage these trades if they go against you? All of this stuff is very deeply personal, and it reflects the personality of a trader. Some people are more risk tolerant than others, you know. I don't consider myself lightly risk tolerant, and I don't consider myself like a heavy risk tolerant guy. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm medium risk tolerant. That's me. You know, I trade like a baby, and I'm very comfortable trading like a baby. It keeps me safe, and I don't have to panic, and I have no fear. And I like to be calm, you know, in these older days of mine, being over 50. We're not going to talk about how much older. I just don't want any heart attacks. So I like to trade small. All right. What can you safely and comfortably believe in as your reasonable expectation of gains in a week or a month? And what does experience show you? All right. And all this stuff can change over time too. All right. So anyway, I hope that I hope you enjoyed the video. I tried my best to give you my honest take on this. I don't believe you need 100 grand, but obviously, I really believe 3 to 5 is your superior way to start, unless you happen to have enough to go with 10. If you can do 10, I would do that. All right. Anyway, guys, have a great week. Trade safely. It's a jungle out there. If you liked the video, if it helped you in any way, please give me a thumbs up. I know some of you are going to give me a thumbs down, but it doesn't ever tell me who you are. So if you're man enough and you give me a thumbs down, do me a favor and try and at least be a little bit polite about it. In the comments, let me know why. What do you think I did wrong? You know, what do you think I said wrong that made you give me the thumbs down? Now, some people are just not going to do that. You're just going to be a little wussy and know it. You're going to give me the thumbs down and not even tell me why. But, you know, what the hell? Man up, okay? If you're going to give me a thumbs down, man up or girl up and tell me why you're giving me the thumbs down, okay? And if you liked the video, if it was a help to you, please subscribe or maybe share it with a friend if you think somebody else could benefit with this, okay? All right, I wish everybody a great day. And until next time, make sure you check out my other videos, by the way. Tons and tons of wisdom and knowledge in there, all teaching you how to trade for free, I might add. Okay? All right, till next time, Robin Hood signing off. Ciao for now.